My grandma just died, like, around 2 o'clock. That's not the topic today, though.
Just accusing me of manipulation when you didn't even bother asking what my intentions were. And just thinking, oh no, I'm gonna be the worst person again. It's Mongrel. Mongrel's always bad!
If I ever meet you in person, you little shit, I will hospitalize you for what you did. You're not gonna die, but you are going to be in a lot of fucking pain.
Can't be bothered to be respectful and decent when I'm in a point of desperation and mental illness, making where I had to actually make a note of my defeat, so that worded so that way it would be misread as a suicide in a last-ditch effort to hopefully have it hit those assholes harassing me, what kind of shit their behavior could cause. You guys harassed me, and if I was anyone else, I might have actually been suicidal. I might have actually tried to do that to myself. Nice job! You ruined a name for me before I could even have it gain any notoriety. I hope you're fucking proud of yourself, you piece of shit. Go die!
Today's Nobody Lolcow is, of course, Mystic Mongrel. Who is Mystic Mongrel? Well, Mystic Mongrel is somebody that I've only referred to a couple times in passing in a couple videos. But regardless, today's drink, Wild Turkey Rare Breed. Good shit. And that is provided to me by my gracious Patreon supporters. And for as little as $1 a month, you can generously destroy my liver so I don't have to make these videos ever again. Become an anti-fan today. All that gay shit aside, I want to point out that Mystic Mongrel is a special kind of degenerate. No, not that special, not like unique. Mystic Mongrel is the kind of generic, I'm actually female, but really a dude, and also a massive degenerate, all wrapped into one. Everybody knows the stereotype, I've covered many of them. But no, Mystic Mongrel is simply unique in the fact that he is one of the very few people that I could play tic-tac-toe with on their forehead. But that aside, what exactly makes Mongrel a lolcow, you might be asking? How about all the times that Mongrel decides to make itself a victim?
I'm in a point of desperation and mental illness, making where I had to actually make a note of my defeat, so that worded so that way it would be misread as a suicide in a last-ditch effort to hopefully have it hit those assholes harassing me, what kind of shit their behavior could cause. If I was anyone else, I might have actually been suicidal. I might have actually tried to do that to myself.
I just got off my dark week. And what's a dark week? Well, it's where you kind of just vanish from everyone's view for an entire week. And yeah, I don't think anyone noticed, which sucks. And here's why I went dark. I wanted to see who could miss me when I was gone.
I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what anyone wants from me at this point. Do I just have to be treated like shit for people to accept me? You guys want a bad guy? Don't make it me. There's some day when the nice people crack, when the genuinely good stop trying to be good. My drive is meant to be altruism.
But that also, of course, includes making edits to video descriptions of videos that didn't do too particularly well, where in the description they make themselves out to sound like a victim of something.
This video was made whilst under stress-induced cognitive impairment from several traumatizing factors. It is being kept up for the sake of honesty, because trying to delete it would be trying to pretend I was never wrong to begin with. As such, taking everything I said in this video with discretion and understanding, I am not the same person now as I was then.
In a video series about their own life, they also decided to pretend to have DID, otherwise known as multiple personality disorder.
I am the headmate of Mongrel, and not Mongrel herself. She and I ended up co-fronting during the recording of some of these segments, and as a result, this may cause us to come off as incoherent. I will be speaking in the first person because nobody really will fucking care which headmate was fronting at the time of anything happening. You barely care about actual facts as it is, so why does it matter? I'm better equipped to handle it on my own than she is. Because, well, this is fucking traumatic.
But if that didn't make Mongrel look crazy enough for you, don't worry. It gets worse. You see, Mystic Mongrel decided it would be a great idea to upload a video on the internet on the day that their grandmother died to discuss drama.
Sorry if I seem off. My grandma just died, around 2 o'clock. So, that's not the topic today, though. The topic today is from what was stirring in my head before I got the news.
Because that's what's important. Drama. Very petty and irrelevant drama that makes them look like an insane, crazy person. In fact, it's so important that Mystic Mongrel decided to threaten to beat up a child on the internet.
If I ever meet you in person, you little shit, I will hospitalize you for what you did. You're not gonna die, but you are going to be in a lot of fucking pain. You don't do that shit to people. I don't care you're a minor. When my hands are equal opportunity, I mean it.
Yes, very stable behavior there, Mongrel. But the question remains, how likely is it that you would do such a thing, Mongrel? Well, thankfully, Mongrel answers that question.
And I'm literally that person who would have been willing to drop everything and drive across the entire fucking country to beat up my own grandpa. Let that sink in. I was willing to drive across the country and beat up my abusive grandpa, who was abusing my grandma, mind you, and my mom. I was willing to do that to my own grandpa.
Even if I believed you, Mongrel, all that story told me is that you were too much of a pussy to beat up an old man that was beating up your family. That's all you said. It's really strange, actually, to say something like that whenever you're also claiming that you're female. That's not exactly the way women act, generally speaking.
I am the strongest woman this state has ever seen.
I learned a little bit more about this guy, and it turns out that this person decided to join some weird group chat on Discord where he received a titillating image of a minor, not a nude, but a titillating image, I guess we'll say a lewd, and then spread it around, sending it to another server that contained a minor, and we know it contained a minor because the head of that server was a minor.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Why would you send CP when the owner is a 17-year-old?
I didn't realize multiple people saying one thing without proof was proof.
Now listen here, you little shit.
What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude.
I was the one that made the Google Drive folder of the screenshots, and I was trying to use it so that way other people could help speak up involving Necopon. Endo was the one who provided the initial image as it was censored, like the censored variant of that image. That's the only image that Endo provided. And that itself was put into and I put that into the Google Doc so other people could see the evidence claimed. When I was sharing this doc, one of the places I shared it was Harley's server.
That is a weird thing to just be sharing around. In fact, that's fucking stupid. And it should not have even been shared in that group chat. In fact, nobody should have shared it at all. Now, this, of course, does not in any way, shape, or form mean that our friendly neighborhood mongrel is a pedophile or a groomer or anything like that, right?
Alright, the grooming thing, I'll explain. When I'm in a really bad position mentally, I'll have intrusive thoughts that I don't act on. Like, fucking hell, does nobody understand what intrusive thoughts are? Unfortunately, my intrusive thoughts include shit that relates to grooming and other gross shit of a sexual nature.
A bit creepy for me, and I crave my buddy up like a pumpkin. Though, if you never once acted on it, we are still cool.
A 15-year-old tried to flirt with me at one point, and I was thoroughly creeped out. This was when I was 23, I think.
Then we're cool. It's the proper reaction to be creeped out. I'm going to be recording more group chats with Neko and putting them together for a context crucifixion. I'm still hyped up to 48 parts now.
2 17-year-olds tried to tell me they wanted to fuck me when I was 23 in a similar time frame, even trying to encourage me by saying they're virgins. Still rejected them because, again, just no. The grooming thing, by the way, was part of a mental health doc I made that helped explain this condition my mental health is in, and the different warning signs of how bad of a situation I'm in mentally, often caused by external factors.
Also, I just want to point out real quick how funny it is that they seem to be having two completely different conversations in this particular moment. One guy is like, hey, what's the deal with all these intrusive thoughts? And the other guy is like, oh, it's this, and that. By the way, this minor tried to hit on me, and also these other minors tried to hit on me, while the other guy's desperately trying to fucking change the topic. Mongrel's just over here like, yeah, you know, I had all these minors trying to fuck me, you know, intrusive thoughts and all that jazz. Like, I don't know, it's a very strange conversation to have. It's almost like he's trying to say, super subtly of course, that he wanted to fuck those minors that allegedly hit on him. Yeah, very intrusive thoughts. Yeah, totally, 100%. But the other thing I need to point out here real quick that I feel might get lost if I don't point it out is that claiming that you have intrusive thoughts about grooming a child is a very oddly specific claim. As in, Mongrel isn't making the claim that he has intrusive thoughts about jumping while he's crossing a bridge, or having intrusive thoughts about murdering his boss because his boss didn't give him a raise. No, instead, what he's actually claiming is he has intrusive thoughts about selecting a kid, gaining that kid's trust, isolating the kid, in the hopes of eventually fucking the kid. As stated, those are very oddly specific and arguably autistic intrusive thoughts. In fact, those thoughts are so specific that I'm highly skeptical that they're even intrusive at all. And one of the reasons, aside from the obvious, that I'm bringing the intrusive thoughts about grooming up in this conversation is because a very common counter-argument that I've actually heard people say on live stream is that we shouldn't criticize people for intrusive thoughts. I have intrusive thoughts about killing my boss. It's only upon acting upon those thoughts that it really matters.
I mean, yeah, it's weird, but like, if you're not actually acting on anything, you're not consuming anything bad, then
I think what worries me is the fact that they said that it pops up every 3 to 6 months because they were on constant survival mode. I'm very survival mode, not grooming. Am I clip shipping this?
Sure, but like, and it's like the same thing with Birdie. Like, yeah, it's obviously very gross and weird that they had intrusive thoughts about fucking their ferret. But I don't know if that's necessarily like completely morally condemnable, you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a difference between a thought and an action. It's just, I don't know if associating with someone like this is
I mean, like, smart. Dude, I think everybody has like really fucked up intrusive thoughts. I don't necessarily think that makes you a bad person. It's just if you act on those intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, Amos can fantasize about whatever he wants, but murderous mongrel? You see, this person, I don't know, I don't think I would ever eat. If this, I'm gonna be so real, Amos, and this is not like for any optics thing. If you ever tweeted, like, publicly that you have intrusive thoughts of grooming,
okay, yes.
I'm gonna keep it arm's length away from you.
To be very clear, you obviously shouldn't tell people what your fucked up intrusive thoughts are, right?
Yeah,
this person obviously should not have tweeted those. But to be very clear, if they haven't acted on it, then like, yeah, it's gross and weird, but that's like to the extent of it.
I guess, I mean, wouldn't you technically still be a pedophile though, because you want to fuck kids?
Do you know what an intrusive thought is?
Well, yeah, but you want to have sexual...
Do you know, like, when thoughts come into your head when you don't actually want to do it or you don't agree with it at all?
It's just a reoccurring thought, which is, like, really interesting.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
let's say you hate your boss, like, really bad. They make your life miserable. They do, like, weird pranks on you. And you constantly have these intrusive thoughts about wanting to kill him. You don't actually want to kill him, you just don't like him. But you keep having these recurring thoughts of really wanting to kill your boss, even though you don't actually want to.
To that, I would say, right, obviously, I'm not a murderer, sure, because it's, like, in the thought, but I would fully understand the boss does not want to be around me if he knew about those thoughts.
Yeah, but again, and I think I've been pretty consistent, you probably shouldn't tell people your intrusive thoughts, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so. So I guess your issue is more or less that they're saying their intrusive thoughts publicly rather than having them, right?
No, I'm not saying that I have an issue with it per se. I'm just saying that, like, it fucks you. Like, you probably shouldn't tell people that.
Okay.
Is it morally condemnable? I probably not.
Everybody and their mother has had intrusive thoughts about killing their boss. Basically, everybody has had that thought. That's an entirely normal thing. Most people aren't walking down the street saying, I'm gonna rape that bitch. They don't have those intrusive thoughts. That's not most people. And also, most people, when walking down the street, aren't, fuck, I'm gonna groom that child today. These thoughts actually just don't exist in the majority of people's minds. And to somehow normalize that thought process, to not see that as a symptom of a deeper problem with that person, is in of itself a problem. And is why a lot of people, like Mystic Mongrel, get away with shit like sending fucking titillating images of minors to other people, especially other minors. And so, in other words, Mystic Mongrel is an absolute freak. And if you disagree with me, you're probably a freak too. Have a great day, and go fuck yourself.